We're joined by Dr. Ashraf Singer, who is our world politics analyst. Thank you very much for joining us here on the program. Now, you're joining us usually from California, so I think probably I should start by asking you about the situation in California and what do you make of what's happening and the criticisms of some of the authorities?
Yeah, there is a huge critiques to Newsom that he didn't really fund $17 million, to fund the water supply where this area, were affected severely by that huge fire. Uh, Actually, we didn't expect that fire be scaled or in that huge scale. And one of the major problems, of course, it's Santa Ana wind. Um, it was really high speed, reached to 160 kilometers per hour, and was really huge. But there are another theory to give interpretation of the source of the fire, that Edison company, the electrical company in that area, or covering even Southern California, um, some stories now, like we're telling, okay, this is because of the some of the problem of their cables was a source of the fire there. But still, that event or what happened under investigation by many authorities. But it seems to me like, the governor of California under huge critiques from Donald Trump, the next president, and the local guys, they lost their homes. But it's really a huge strategic event for all the people over there in
Yes.
that area. Yeah,
Okay.
so basically that area is nearby to Los Angeles downtown, but my area is not affected at that area over there because the fire is not really in my area
Well,
till now. I hope it's not.
well, indeed, and it's good to see that things are looking fine where you are, Dr. Singer. Thank you very much for enlightening us on the situation on that. Moving on to the sanctions, then these sanctions target major Russian oil companies and also a shadow fleet of vessels. How significant are these measures? Do you think they might be successful in trying to undermine Russia's war economy?
No, at all. The reason that is what Biden, really said, that efforts to, impose that sanctions on Russia oil company for, like restricted and sanctions to put, like pressure on its economy. But we have to uh, remember, the audience that is, Russia is already uh, opened a new tracks with China to buy its oil. So basically, uh, potentially, or in that point, to potential limiting, its work capabilities over time. It seems to me it's not really working because of Russia really sold its oil to China and India, and these two uh, giant in terms of other potential buyers every time. So it seems to me like, in terms of self-interest of United States, they need really to switch the European buyers to buy the U.S. oil or natural gas from United States, not really from Russia. But unfortunately, the small countries or the other countries like in Africa and Asia, they were and are paying that high price of that kind of challenge between the two giants, like Russia, United States. But it seems to me that that kind of policy will not affect Russia for a long term. Of course, affect its economy, but not really destroying its economy.
Okay. And these new sanctions have already caused a surge in crude oil prices. How might this affect global energy stability and also the markets, particularly in the US?
Oh, basically the energy market, that United States decide, to put like what we call the cap of a price in terms of the oil. This is just to control, the Russia revenue over time. That is, preventing Russia to sell its oil with high price. But that kind of policy already affected, the other guys like, the oil producers in the Middle East because, they have their own plans, for development. It seems to me now that kind of sanctions and that kind of capping but or increase that level of pressure on their economy or their revenues for over time. So it seems to me now United States need to really pay back or support, their alliances. They were really under that pressure of that capping of the price. It seems to me like for long term, that type of policy will gonna to make that market it's not stable and I see that is any kind of policy now by United States will just serve it is serve it self interest in terms of increasing it is revenue, but United States now it seems to be doesn't care about the others alliances in either in Europe and the Middle East. The most important now United States needs really to improve its sales in oil and arms just to fund its budget or deficit, which reached now is about $36 trillion, and this is really huge compared to its economy, 27 trillion. So every year now, United States is facing a huge deficit. So I'm trying to think about the future of the policy that Donald Trump
Well,
gonna
well
to apply.
let's bring the politics into this, Dr. Singer. I know we like the politics of these things. It's just days before Trump's inauguration, when Biden is bringing in these policies. It's thought that Trump is quite favorable towards Putin, but then again, his administration did put more sanctions on Russia than any other. What do you make of the timing of Biden's new sanctions?
Yeah, this is a good question. Biden, before to depart, depart the office, he was really, and he is really sincere, to hurt Russia severely. That Russia, Russia Putin, really did it challenge, the United States ego in terms of the, didn't really respect, or didn't really follow the United States foreign policy or the outcome of the foreign policy that us Putin didn't, don't, invade Ukraine, but Putin, violate that kind of channels or contacts, between Washington and Moscow. So it seems to me it's a personal fight, between Biden and Putin, but it's still. I'm sorry. The situation with Trump is different. Trump um, uh, believes that is Putin and Russia. He has a good communication with Putin. They can agree on many issues, and really Trump is really interested in fighting or containing or stopping China more than Russia. And actually, Trump probably is correct. You know why? Because the GDP of Russia is not really huge. It's about like 2.5 trillion. So it's not really a big challenger over time. So the best policy you need really to contain Russia, and you have to think about China because China is the most challengeable country for the United States, not Russia. So it seems to me like Trump will be accurate in terms of containing Russia rather than fighting Russia or challenging Russia because Russia will not challenge the status quo over time. The China only going to challenge the status quo, but they need to contain Russia. Probably Russia will be part of EU, will be part of NATO, not now, but for long term. This is my perspective. Russia can be one of the EU, one of the European countries with respecting of its culture, heritage, ego, because it's a nuclear state and powerful. Russia had and has a nuclear arsenal, even compared to the number of the storage here in the United States of the nuclear arsenal in the United States. So Russia should be really contained, and they can really work with Russia perfectly But one of the major threats for Trump, this is really a clear message for Denmark, for Canada, for Panama, for Mexico, for any countries in the Middle East. As long as these guys, come close to China, this is really a huge threat for Trump's perceptions and a huge threat to the United States because United States does need to work effectively to stop any countries, to move close to China, not to Russia. So I think new administration will be happy or not happy, will be okay if some countries, really develop its relations with Russia rather than China.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Singer, our world politics analyst here at Q News. Thank you very much for joining us, and we send you our best wishes there in California for you and your fellow Californians.